Something people in Trinidad often say to us when they meet us, hear our story and see the boat for themselves is, how are you all still sane? How are you still friends and still trying to chase this dream of sailing around and exploring the world? So today I'm going to go into that a little bit, as well as share with you what we think is the best jungle experience that you can have in Trinidad. Before we get to the main video, I just wanted to let you know that voting is open for this year's International Cruisers Awards. And at the suggestion of some friends and supporters, we've nominated for Most Inspirational Cruiser of the Year. Today, one of the main things that keeps large companies honest is public exposure and accountability. And to that end, we would appreciate your support in voting for us in these awards so that we can use this platform not for our personal gain, but to further spread awareness about this issue and hopefully benefit new owners and the cruising community at large. The reality is that our request for assistance is more time sensitive, as we are currently in negotiations with Leopard Catamarans and Robertson & Kane. Where the pieces fall at the end of our experience will likely have ramifications for the industry as a whole, and have other manufacturers held to a higher standard of quality and liveaboard customer service, because if Leopard can do it, why can't Lagoon or Fontaine Pajot? All you need to do is go to the link in the description, enter an email address, and then go to your inbox to confirm the vote. Don't worry, there doesn't seem to be any spam, but you can always use a secondary email that's more for random online accounts and newsletters. Voting closes on the 1st of next month, and the outcome will be announced at the Annapolis Boat Show. So we would appreciate your support on this one because it is a vote to help all new boat owners. But for now, it is time to get on with the video. The reality about staying sane is this has been really hard. There has been health problems, injuries, and stress. But I think what helps us keep going is the fact that we're chasing our dream and we're doing it alongside our best friends, plus Rose. Trent, Tynan, and I have been friends for years. We've backpacked across 2 continents and lived together while we put everything in place to facilitate the transition from suburban dwellers with full-time jobs to digital nomads sailing the world. I credit the strength of our friendship as being a huge contributing factor to us soldiering forward and working towards trying to create a positive outcome to our situation. Another thing that keeps us going is thinking about what we have achieved despite all of the adversity caused by the poor workmanship and the situation surrounding it. So since the boat was new, it has spent 7 months in Cape Town, 3 months on the hard in Italy, over 2 months stuck in a marina in Gibraltar, and now almost 6 months on the hard in Trinidad. Despite the frustration and pain of having our lives put on hold, of finding issues all over a new boat and then trying to get Robertson & Kane to help, we have still managed to have achievements that we're proud of and experiences that we're grateful for. On the 50+ days it took to get from Cape Town to Gibraltar, Trent and Tynan overcame windows separating from the hull, an electrical issue, and the total loss of wind instrument data between Cape Verde and the Canary Islands, which meant using the manual indicator at the top of the mast to safely get to Gibraltar. But within hours of docking at Queensway Quay Marina, Rose and Trent were reunited after 10 months apart. We got our sea container back after almost having it seized by European customs for sitting there too long. After months of arguing and begging and thousands of dollars in fees that accrued because the boat was so late from Cape Town, I could finally breathe knowing we weren't going to lose everything we owned. And a few months later, we got to use the tender that Trent and Tynan spent months welding and working on back in Perth, achieving our goal of having a tender that we could wakeboard behind. after the second haul out and being physically and mentally exhausted from 3 months of trying to fix our boat and not even getting a fix procedure, we sailed across the Mediterranean Sea from Croatia to Gibraltar before crossing the Atlantic Ocean and entering the Caribbean Sea. We knew there was going to be another haul out that would involve fixing the cracking crossbeam mounts, taking down the mast and investigating the hull. But we took the time to appreciate the little moments, like the scenery in Majorca, World War history in Gibraltar, the dolphins bow riding the boat while Rose lost her mind, and sunsets on the rooftop lounge before watching the stars come out one by one and seeing the reflection of the moon shimmer on the sea. By the time we're finished in Trinidad, we will have spent approximately 1 year living on the Hardstand since June of last year, and to put it bluntly, living on the Hardstand is especially when it's meant to be a new boat. Italy was extremely hot, there were swarms of mosquitoes, and it was a 400-metre trip just to use a public toilet. While there are still biting bugs, things are better in Trinidad than they were in Italy. Thanks to the recent actions by Leopard Catamarans, we have access to extremely competent tradesmen from JS Marine, who we get along with well on a personal level too. And they have provided an air conditioner, which makes a significant difference to our mental health and the quality of our sleep. A little someone who deserves a fair bit of credit for keeping us sane is Rose, our Australian Shepherd who turned 4 earlier this week. Before we got our boat, we discussed whether or not to get a dog, knowing full well that we would be moving overseas onto a boat while the dog was young. We considered the pros and cons and ultimately decided to go ahead and bring a dog into our lives. Not a day goes by where we aren't happy about that decision, because no matter what's going on in the boat, a walk, play, or a cuddle with Rose can instantly lift your mood. The last thing that keeps us going is that we always try to get out of the boatyard and back into nature. We love being out on the water, doing things like snorkeling, spearfishing and wakeboarding. Over the past few years, we've looked for sales and good deals and managed to outfit the boat with full sets of scuba diving and kiteboarding gear, which have never even been wet. We'll be relaunching towards the end of this year and can't wait to get back to doing activities we loved before all this started, and finally using the equipment we spent so much time researching and sourcing. Being on the hard back in Chaguaramas, there's nowhere to truly escape that's within walking distance, and without your own transport, it's a real mission to get back out into nature. When Trent was initially negotiating the repairs of the boat with Travelopia, who you would know as Leopard Catamarans, the broker that sells boats built by Robertson & Kane, he discussed the importance of the workers having a vehicle so that they wouldn't need to try and get taxis to go and get materials, and also so that they weren't confined to the shipyard on their day off for the sake of their mental health. Travelopia very quickly took this on board and even went a step further, paying a relatively significant additional cost to have one of us on the insurance so that we could use the car ourselves and with the guys to get off the boat. We don't expect that every single person who has a warranty issue on a new boat should be supplied with a rental vehicle. In this case though, Leopard have recognised that this is an extraordinary situation and it requires an extraordinary amount of rectification and consideration when compared to normal. Access to the car is greatly appreciated because it's had a noticeably positive effect on our mental health and just keeping us sane through months of repairs. To be clear, they've not asked for this to be publicised and we've not signed or agreed to anything, but we can see that they're making steps in a positive direction and credit should be given where credit is due. As a large company, they easily could have been more difficult, but instead, employees have been able to show integrity, to rectify things they think are wrong and prevent it from happening again. It's another step in the right direction, which we hope continues. Through our excursions in this car, we have discovered that Trinidad has some incredible waterfalls. So the one I'm going to show you now is what we think is the best jungle experience that you can have in Trinidad. Today we are getting off this boat and back into nature. So Travelopia have actually supplied the guys that are working on our boat with a car. Today we're going to use it to head out to a waterfall, and it should be a good day because we have a second car of people coming as well. There is another owner here who has a Leopard 45. It's actually newer than ours, and he's going to come along and bring some of the other guys. So it looks like it's going to be a really, really great day out for everybody. Yesterday was my birthday and we had a really nice barbecue last night. They decorated the roof of the boat with fairy lights and everything. Today we've come out to what the boys think is the best river, waterfall, jungle spot in Trinidad. I've never been here before, so the plan is to go work our way up the river, and then when we're done, go back down it.
On the one that you were getting up, get up that and then just walk across the top side.
I was just gonna come help you.
Did you attack Tish? Did you attack Tish? Oh, you did. Woo!
They're gonna go up and around because they got the backpacks, but I'm gonna swim it. Don't you be pushing me up again. You upset they're climbing without you. So what do we have to do from here?
Jump off that.
Your problem now, Zuri. It's coming. Zuri.
Oh my god!
I couldn't hold it back anymore. It really wants to.
Tell you what.
That's a big jump.
Tell you what. The climb up there is more sketchy than the jump. There's like thorns and shit. I'm not seeing many thorns in Trinidad, and there's all thorns up there. You're like, ooh. You have to climb up here, across there, down across the river, then up that side of the river, all behind all this junk, and then climb up there.
After hiking in and spending some time jumping and swimming around Three Bulls, it was time for us to continue winding our way up the river towards our final destination, Avocat Falls. I can't believe you thought we wouldn't be able to follow that path, like it's so well defined. Rose, this way. So now we're going to keep going up the river. The guys tell me this ends at a massive waterfall. GoPro's still good. She wants you to do a trick.
What do you want from me?
That was so bad.
Too shallow. Oh. Go video it next to your face.
Hell no.
Go closer.
No, I'm good.
Go closer. Go up next to it.
No.
Go up next to it.
Oh my god, it's got me.
Oh, no, we need to get closer. We need to fucking.
Ah! Stop that! Oh my god, it's ah! That's disgusting. What? That is like a dinner plate.
It's hard to get the size of it because it looks like it's going to attack.
If that jumps
You're on your own.
It's not bad, it's just like a little cut.
So you split your nose open.
I've been kicked in the face by a horse, so I...
That's different than I thought.
You might
Pretty sure here.
Left.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, now I can see a waterfall through the trees.
Nah. So I think you gotta climb over that. Use your paws, honey. I'm not sure calculated this one. Oh no, here we go.
Just around this bend is where the giant waterfall is, and that's the end of where we're going to today. There's a path right here that goes all the way around and up to the top of the waterfall. We're going to follow that up, sit in the basin at the top, have a relax, and then slowly make our way back down through the river. Oh my god, I'm trying not to fall over.
The water looks so blue on the GoPro.
After a chill and some drinks up the top, I'm sitting very close to the edge. We are going to slowly make our way back out to the car, and then we're going to go out for dinner tonight. It's going to be really good. But for now, I want to go under the waterfall and see what it feels like.
That was like really, really nice. Really hard. Oh, you know, that was really nice. It was like having a massage.
This has just been like the best excursion, I guess, to celebrate my birthday. It's so much fun, and it's so nice to be in the water, and it's just, I don't know, it's just rejuvenating. So aside from trying not to fall over, it's yeah, like if you ever come to Trinidad, you have to try this. We have a big day and now you are sleepy. Time for sleeps. Having days off the boat like that is just so good for your mental health. So once again, we really appreciate Leopard Catamarans for facilitating the car that we use to do that. Now, if you're thinking of heading out to Three Pools, just keep in mind that the hike in and out is quite physically strenuous, so you do need a certain amount of fitness. And also, before you go, you need to check the weather, because you don't want to run the risk of being in the river when a sudden downpour or a flash flood happens. It's just a bad idea. Now, if you've been to Trinidad and you know of somewhere out in the jungle that is absolutely beautiful, please pop it down in the comments, because we are still here for a few more months and would love to check it out.